You have your little notes
My,
in the
No.
kitchen. All right.
Make sure you start the recording there as well.
Yeah. Let's see. Guest mode. Art of craftsmanship. Content shelter correctly. Cancel. Hi guys. Welcome to the Art of Craftsmanship podcast live event. We're just getting set it up to start recording on the computer, the actual podcast. So if you're joining us now, if you're watching in the future, you get a little pre-show. So let's see. Let me bring up YouTube, check in so I can see if anybody's here. .com. YouTube. Art of Craftsmanship. All right, let's go to my channel. The Art of Craftsmanship.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Art of Craftsmanship. Home. Here we go. Live. 10 watching. All right, let's see. Captions for your audio. No, I don't need captions for my audio. I need to turn this all the way down. All right, second video, yeah. This is going to be another 5 to 12 second video. Sorry, no Chevy Guy 300. No, sorry. We
This is our first time.
first time podcasting.
First live and podcast together, so it's
Now we were just trying to
a little tricky.
we're trying to figure out the setup, and I wanted to put a title, and I forgot to put a title. It's last time I did a live, the stuff it looked a little different, so I'm trying to make sure everything. Just kidding. That's perfect. That's what I would expect. He said he just had to give us a hard time. All right, let's see. How do we like the setup? I think I need to turn it slightly toward you.
Huh? You're all right. That's good. No, I think you're good, Dust.
No.
Because now your back's all the way against it.
Oh, see. Now we're evenly spaced
All right.
away. I'm looking at it here. Oh, looks good. Looks good. Yep.
Against the camera.
All right, welcome, guys. Let's see what we got. Edward York, greetings.
And maybe turn the volume up some.
The volume is...
Can you point that at you a little bit?
I can. We have mics attached to... These are our podcast mics, and we have our actual mics on here attached to the...
Turn the gain up a little bit.
Let's see if we can adjust it for you. I appreciate that. Maybe. Okay, let's see. Drew's here.
How's that?
Hello, Drew. How's that? So we're going to be talking into the mic, so we'll be kind of like this the whole time. Does that sound better? My mic's on. We have... Okay, Edward York said better. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check check check. Little inside baseball, little pre-show action going on here. Drew said, maybe. Did you turn it up and then turn it down?
No, well, yes. How about now? Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Test. Drew, what do you think?
Or Edward York? It's a bit low. Waiting.
This is a test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still a bit low. I might have to start the. It still says negative 10 on there. I think I might have to turn off and on. You think that'll ruin it?
I don't think it'll. No, it should be fine. They're just gonna. All right, now it should be back to audio from. Move closer. It's here. Like this is where my mic is. We have the two mics. I guess I could just put it up on my shirt. We could clip it there. That'll be a little better. Let me just try that. Get out of there. Hold on. How's that? I just moved it to my shirt, so if others can hear it fine, you're good. I can hear you pretty good, and I've only got my volume up halfway right now. I'm on my phone. Debbie, we could just put them both.
I think it's okay right here. I think I turned it up a little bit. Test 1, 2.
Oh, they look better on that
Maybe.
end, yeah.
Do they?
I mean, the peaks
Test
look better.
1, 2.
Yeah. I should put this back here.
Hey, Dave.
Dave Bauer, nice. Oh, that made a huge difference. So,
Okay.
all right. Cool.
Where do you have it? That's still in your...
I just put it back here. Yeah. So.
Well, thanks for helping, guys.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we are going to record the episode 200 of the Art of Craftsmanship podcast. We've got some cool stuff to talk about and some quizzes to do, and we'd love to just see what's going on your guys' end and answer some questions as well. So please feel free to ask questions and participate. Devin and I both are watching on the chat, so we'll be able to see what you're saying. Hey, Steph. That's my sister-in-law, Stephanie. All right, so I'm going to start the podcast now. Dev, you have the quotes and stuff you want to?
Yeah. Get out of this.
All right, let's get this recording. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
Check
Looks
1,
good.
2, 3.
All right. All right, here we go.
Hang on.
Oh, no, almost. Gotta get those mixed drinks, man.
Go ahead.
Devin's mixing drinks for us tonight.
Yeah, this is our first ever live podcast, so we're going to have some hiccups, but got a bunch of quotes here from people, so we'll kick it off.
Yeah, we'll do these, and then if you're hanging out and you're one of the podcasts, one of the quoters, let us know in the comments. Devin's got them as well. All right, here we go. Hey guys, welcome back to the Art of Craftsmanship podcast. My name is Dustin O'Hara, and I'm here in the studio with my brother Devin.
Hello.
Hello, Devin. All right, so it is episode 200, and we're doing it live on YouTube. So if you're listening, you could also watch. If you're watching, you could listen later if you need to catch up on something. But we are going to be starting out tonight with some quotes. We asked the audience to send us some quotes last week. If you were listening, you knew we reached out. And then Devin also reached out on Instagram to get some quotes. So what do you got for us today, Dev?
I got a bunch. So I think I'm just going to read them through.
Okay.
And then I will say who sent them. After, on a row.
Okay.
I don't think.
All right.
I'm just gonna hit you with a bunch of stuff.
All right, here we go.
If anything sticks with you guys, and then you want to discuss and pontificate on, let us know. Yes. All right, here we go. I like to picture Jesus in a tuxedo T-shirt because it says, "I want to be formal, but I'm here to party." If you trust in yourself and believe in your dreams and follow your star, you still get beaten by people who spent their time working hard and learning things and weren't so lazy. Of all the things I've lost, I miss my mind the most. It's Ozzy Osbourne. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is good.
As far as I'm concerned, inspiration is simply a flowery term for the particular way in which the artist gathers experience and reacts to it. An artist accumulates things and borrows objects from the sea and the scrap heap, then makes mental notes and records impressions on tablecloths and newspapers. An artist forages and is an omnivore.
Omnivore.
A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. That's a classic. That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Beware of the engineers of society, I say, who would make everyone in all the world equal. Opportunity should be equal, must be equal, but achievement must remain individual. Avoid the clap. When you move, flow like water. When you are still, be still like a mirror. When you react, react like an echo. Bruce Lee. That was it.
All right. Nice.
Thanks to Tyrell Knife Works,
Mm-hmm.
Dave Bauer Art, of course,
Dave's here.
uh,
Hey,
Metal Metal Chef Customs,
Jake.
Vern
Nice.
Makes,
Vern makes. Yeah.
Tree Swift Goods,
Nice.
Smiling Wolf Workshop,
Noah, awesome.
Holton Handmade Knives, Metal Storm Forge.
All right. Nice, Bob from Metal Store.
There you go.
Bob Gore, awesome, man. That's great. Thank you guys for sending in quotes.
What do you think? Any of those hit you?
Stick out. I always like the what's the one from Henry Ford? Like, what was that one you said? It's like 2 lines. You have it in front of you.
Which one? Sorry, I'm trying to get
the
the
one
YouTube
from
up.
Henry Ford.
Yeah, pulled up. Exactly. There was so many.
Yeah.
I was trying to get the YouTube up, so I was abandoning the Instagram, and my phone's running slow.
Yeah. Oh right. Yeah.
Oh, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Right.
Classic.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's one that you may have actually said before.
Yeah. I think I can.
Yeah, I think it's all like in your own will, right? It's like you have to make your own, journey.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good one. I like that one. Yeah, that's I don't know. I just think that's one of those things where it can change too. So like you're either one moment you might think you can and you're going along and you're doing it and then like you could but then it could stop like I guess that's just like that kind of goes to the other one. It's like the person who's the not lazy, like so if you're always pushing, you always think you can, like you always will.
Yeah, and that's like the most basic like quote. Like,
Yeah.
think you can do it. Like keep your mind down to it.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, no, those are all good ones, and avoid the clap. That's
avoid the clap.
Trying to keep it clean on YouTube. But
Yeah.
all right, I think I'm up to date here. It's going to be a little clunky because we're looking at messages. We're trying to figure this out, like we said, for the first time. So, Edward, yours says first time is almost always the worst time.
Yeah.
Depends.
Yeah, we'll see. So the podcast will sound fine, but we'll see what the live stream does. But,
okay, I'm up to date. Steph, is that the last message you're getting?
She said, "Lily waved to you guys."
There you go.
Oh, our niece is waving to her uncles on the live stream. So we have so
Sprite.
episode 200, man. It's
Sprite.
Sprite. We need Sprite. Yeah, that's
I'll grab it.
all right. So
Is it the fridge?
it should be, I think, just on the counter. Maybe it's on the fridge. We forgot the Sprite for the drink. So we're drinking Orange Crushes tonight, and then we have New Belgium beers as well. So if you're a listener to the podcast, or actually if you've watched some of the live streams, you'll know that we often drink during the podcast and on the live streams. So we have some beers tonight. I always have 2 beers during the podcast. So I have 2 beers in koozies, keep them as cold as possible. But yeah, episode 200. It's been kind of a wild ride, and I know at some point when we were going back and I was numbering everything, there may be one missing. So either we're 201 or 199. But we did the replay of an old Thanksgiving podcast or something that was when we did an old Four Brothers.
Yeah, we got to do that more.
But
We don't really have to do.
just replay old ones. This episode is from blah blah blah. Just do a little intro.
Right. Yeah, wild ride. So for those who probably a lot of people haven't ever listened to the podcast or knew we had a podcast. So
Right.
welcome to the Art of Craftsmanship podcast. They're like, you got 200?
Yeah, I know. Right.
And you had one. So that's good. So if you're first and you've never heard of it, yeah, we just talk a lot. We have guests on.
We do. If you're just a YouTube subscriber and just a frequenter of YouTube, there are a couple of videos that talk about our podcast. One being like, "Hey, we do a podcast."
Yeah.
Was that when we started? I don't know. But we have that one. It's like me with the mic.
Like, hey, big news, because we're like, it's big changes. We got all this stuff. We're joining a network that now is defunct or debunked.
Or yeah, right. I mean, it's still there, kind of. It's
Is it?
just yeah. So if you listen to Knife Talk and or Full Blast, which are two of the other podcasts that are on the Makery Network, they still have the Makery Network
Do they?
intros. Yeah, it's the Makery Network,
So,
network for makers.
okay.
So they still do it, but yeah. So when we started, we were part of the Makery Network, um, which was started by Craig from Knife Talk, and a bunch of people joined. And I think most of those, well, let's see, some of those podcasts are still around, right?
So,
So the Work For It podcast, Brian House, and now it's Brian Cohn, and
how are your levels there, Dust?
they look good. Everything looks good
Okay.
on this end. Um, and let's see who else. Obviously, Knife Talk's still in there. Um, let's see, Simple Little Life. He had one on there, but he doesn't do that one anymore. He does another podcast with another guy, but it's not on the Maker Network. And yeah, Full Blast is still there in Knife Talk. What's it? Chris Zapp. They had what was that? Handmade. They don't do that as Derek. Derek from Alden, Chris, and Paul Pinto.
Yeah, we're some of the only fools who stuck around after
Just kept on doing it.
like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna do it anymore. We're like, we got nothing else to do.
I know, he might as well. It's
We'll
so
hang
fun.
in, I
Yeah.
guess.
What's going on? Red Beer Knife and Tools here.
Hey.
Bad. Recent huge fan of the podcast. Awesome. Thanks, man. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. So it's been fun. I like. Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons why we started the YouTube channel was just to be able to hang out and shoot stuff in the shop. And so, this is it's another way for Deb and I to hang out and talk to guests, which has been cool. So I
Right.
think probably about a third of the episodes we've done, we've had guests on. Maybe
Yeah.
a quarter, somewhere
And,
to a quarter.
and to be honest, like we said, I remember in the first one going like, how much? I mean, it's not like a tell all, share all, but we keep telling ourselves like, let's just say some things that are honest. Don't like hide stuff. Don't try to be fake. And the
Right.
one of the main was being honest about why we're doing it, which was because this was the only way we'd be able to get to talk to people.
Yeah.
Because if I just were to call up one of these guests, any guests we like, any of these guys,
Right.
can I talk on the phone for an hour and a half with you? They'd be like, you're insane.
No, weirdo. Get out of here.
Like, why? You're
Yeah.
not my girlfriend when I was 18 years old. Like, it's
Yeah.
not. So that's one thing you can do, and we enjoy doing it. And it's great to connect and chat with these people and pick their brains.
Yeah.
But it's also cool getting feedback on it. But
Yeah.
we're here. So if you're hanging out, we're gonna be here for at least an hour.
Yeah.
So we're going to be asking some art of craftsmanship trivia and giving out some prizes, but it's just sticker stuff.
Yeah, we have some sticker packs to give out. So we ordered new stickers for the Toolbox 100 challenge. We started posting about Toolbox 100 maybe like 2 weeks ago, but really started posting about it, and we put out the with the hype video, like the challenge video. We put that out. So we shot that video, put that out, just to get people interested. We've had a lot of good feedback, which has been really fun. And then I also sent out like a specific like invite DMs to all the guests that we've had on the podcast. So that's the other thing. It was like the ability to chat with people and talk to somebody. Then gives you like them well enough to be like, hey, let me invite you to this specific thing. So there were Tony or Keith and Tony from Working Hands podcast. I didn't send them out to them because I didn't see it in the list of like guests the way I write it on the channel. So it was like, actually Keith reached out and was like, hey, you should he was like, oh, I want to participate. And no. And I was like, oh yeah, I sent it out to all the podcast guests. And he was like, well, what about me? And I'm like, oh yes, right. So I sent him the invite. I actually need to. There's like, so in that vein, there's still a few more people, like, because with like Brian Cohn, I'm trying to think of people on Workforce. I sent it out to Brian because we've had Brian on as a guest, Brian House. But we did the mashup with the Workforce podcast, and I sent it to Hustle and Grind. I'm trying to think. But yeah, so I just kind of sent out like so. But the idea really is if people are interested and want to participate in the Toolbox 100 challenge, we talked about a little bit last week and we really went into it. But it's just find a cool toolbox, buy a cool toolbox, and then start filling it with tools that you think are important for people to have, either new makers or young makers or just someone who wants to get into what you're into or someone you know that's interested in it and you can kind of give them a head start by building a cool toolbox. Um, so yeah, it should be fun. I was excited to get started.
One more technical pause before we go for a while. I'm still saying it's a little low. It sounds a little bit. It sounds like a little bit like it's coming from
the mic.
Yeah, like the phone mic. Let's try. Or let's try.
Let me try this. See if this sounds.
Does this sound any louder, folks? If I'm this close to it, let us know.
Is it really loud? We should know. Yes, no, maybe so. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So that is working.
Is it too loud?
Into the mic. Yeah, you probably put on. Mm-hmm. All right. Let me just make sure our beards aren't rubbing on the mics.
Yes, so much better. Test 1, 2, 3. How about that? Good?
Cool. All right.
So if we talk like this, that's better, everybody?
Awesome.
As everyone rushes to turn their TVs down or their phones.
Good. Way louder. Okay. Cool.
All right.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, you would think, I mean, that was not that far difference.
I don't know. It's closer to our throat or something. I don't know.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah, just let us know, guys, if technically anything's weird or just so we can keep up with it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be bad for an hour and a half.
Right. Yeah. So we got some mixed drinks here that Devin's gonna mix up for us. It's little orange crushes. When we had the most recent Four Brothers podcast, we talked about like some memories, like 2024 memories, and one of my favorite memories was going down to or going camping with our family, and then our friend Annette. I think she turned 40. I think it was her 40th birthday. So she that sounds right. I'm 42. Yeah, she probably was. Or no, I just turned 42. Maybe she did. Maybe she's like 39.
Jeez.
Maybe, I don't think. Maybe she wasn't 40. I think she's like 2 or 3 years younger than I am. But either way, she had her birthday, and so we surprised her with some fun gifts. I was like, well, everybody just go out and just buy a fun toy, something that's just like we would like as kids.
Yeah.
So we all bought like kind of cheapish gifts for her, and then we made orange crushes, and they were delicious. Hello, Kodiak Edge Bladesmithing. How's it going? Good to have you here.
These will not be as good because the juice isn't fresh. You should squeeze the juice, really. And it should be really cold.
Squeezing the juice.
A lot of ice.
Yeah, it'll be all right. I was trying to decide. Yeah, we were like, should we make? Should we get oranges and squeeze them here on the podcast?
We're having enough issues with just getting the audio right.
I know, right?
Everything will be all sticky.
Squeezing juice all over the place. But yeah, so I know we got some.
All right, so an orange crush, if you don't know, it's kind of a Maryland thing. Like it was a kind of Eastern Shore, Ocean City Beach thing originally. Oh. So it's, I mean, like a lot of drinks, it's like a screwdriver, vodka and orange juice, but you add triple sec. You can add fresh oranges, and you add a splash of Sprite.
Just a splash.
Just a splash, really. Just to let it, I mean, probably a little bit more, but we're filled up here, so.
I'll drink a little bit down and then fill it back up.
That's it. That's the orange crush. A lot of ice, and what else? Yeah, freshly squeezed oranges.
Yeah, I got, because I didn't get freshly squeezed orange juice, I got simply orange and medium pulp. So maybe it's a little bit like that.
These are gonna be a little rough.
It's like an advertisement up here for Sprite and simply orange juice.
Nice.
You were the one who taught me the first to learn what I have and who I am, and now my YouTube channel has grown. All right.
Heck yeah.
Kodiak Edge Bladesmithing. Awesome. You are the one who taught me first to learn what I have. Oh, maybe so. As a bladesmith, that is crazy. That is so humbling. So Kodiak Edge, I have to remember to like podcast. They're only listening. So Kodiak Edge watching on YouTube Live, and she said, "You're the one who taught me the first to learn what I have and who I am now. My YouTube channel has grown." So I think he's saying that. I watched all your videos from the beginning. That's awesome. That's crazy.
So as our channel dies a long, slow death, and you can bring us back up when you hit 1 million.
Yeah.
Like, help us.
But it's one of those things that it was kind of humbling and a really cool thing that I found out about, like doing something like YouTube video, especially doing knife making. I think there's a decent amount of knife makers out there in the world now that are knife makers because of our channel, which is just crazy. Because I think even like when we started in 2017, the amount of knife makers on YouTube was not very big. You know, like maybe 100.
Yeah.
You know, now it's like thousands. Tons of people.
That's just cool. It's strange. I feel like everyone is this now. Every maker is like an amalgamation of a bunch of different YouTubers.
Yeah, right.
Like, your credit for this, your credit for that. I looked at this guy for this thing. This guy showed me leather work. It's really nice. It's a bunch of people who have been. I mean, that's how you learn things now. That's how people are taught.
Yeah, right.
Just, I'm going to watch 10 YouTube videos on this thing, and I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's wild. It's just cool. Yeah, it's a cool it's an interesting like community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's what Maker Camp is. You know, like it's all these cool like makers and content creators who are out there in the world doing cool stuff, and people are watching and learning things along the way.
Yeah. So some original memories of it. Oh, hi, Dad. Hey, Dad.
Hey, Dad.
Shout out. I don't. It feels like not that long ago, but it was like. But what we used to do originally with each one was we'd re-watch a video,
right,
and then comment on the video.
Yeah, we talk about our videos.
Right.
Classic pint glass podcast.
Did that glass break?
Yeah, it did.
Oh my gosh!
All right, I'm gonna have to take a minute to clean that up. We can continue on the podcast though.
Oh boy. Dustin was just discussing with his wife, saying, "Yeah, every time I pour some beer or anything into a pint glass, I spill it."
Ugh.
Oh my!
Yeah, I'll have to mix up a new one.
I wish we could tilt down. So yeah, he just, I don't know what he did. He does have a lot of stuff.
I have a lot of stuff. I was trying to open up my little notebook so I could take some notes and stuff along the way, but it didn't work. All right, I'll be right back. You'll see me hooked to, hopefully. Actually, let me leave this here so I don't disconnect. All right.
But yeah, so originally it was we would do the whole podcast would be we'd rewatch the videos and then discuss all about them. Not that everyone wanted to hear all about a specific video. It was just a good way to have a conversation on making a bow or making the axe, and then do a little bit of behind the scenes. But no one really cares about a YouTube behind the scenes, I think. But it's an interesting way to. So, but then we kind of abandoned that after, I don't know, 50 episodes. I think. I don't know. We kind of, I don't know. Maybe we got tired of watching our own videos, or I mean, we knew we'd run out because we've only done 150 episode videos now. Maybe not even.
Yeah, I think
probably 125. Shorts don't count. Lives don't count.
I think we're up to.
Sorry, Instagrammers. They don't count as real videos.
Yeah. I was just looking at the amount of.
I mean, what Mike back on does?
I was looking at like, oh, I was looking back at our bow making video, the 100th episode. It was 2 years ago. And that one had, I was looking at it because I was doing, I was backing a new bow today. So the bow that I've been working on for Corinne, the recurve bow, I'm backing with rawhide. And I got rawhide from Clay Hayes' website, another podcast guest. And so I went back to find that video to watch that video to remember how to, the steps. I knew the steps, but it's always good as a review. So I went back and watched the video, our own video, and I kind of threw Clay under the bus a little bit. I'm like, hopefully this all works, and if it doesn't, you can blame Clay because I got it. I watched his videos, but that was actually after we had him on the podcast, which was cool.
Kodiak says they do one a day. I mean, that's a great. Tell Dustin.
One video a day.
Well, a short at least. I think
short.
Some type of short. Right? Is that what you're talking about? I think that's a good idea. But
yeah,
Dustin's got a busy life.
Full-time job.
We put as many as we can.
I know, right? Yeah, shorts are big. I mean, people like them, but shorts don't pay the bills. I'll tell you that. Shorts do not generate barely generate any income. So long form is where it's at if you want to make money. But
I guess
the
idea is to
you need people to make money.
But shorts can also grow your channel.
They can. Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, there's more growth than there is money.
Right.
Then you hope when you do put out a full one, it's
right. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. It's gonna be a little sticky around here.
Do you want one?
Yes.
I can get you some. You need. Oh, you got ice there.
Yeah, I got a new cup, a new ice. All right. A boyer first. Yes. Carved bowls and kookses and spoons. That's awesome. I've done a couple spoons, a couple spatulas. I haven't done a cooksa. I'd like to do a cooksa. Actually, we talked about it on the podcast, but I'm part of a Viking reenactment group called the Njorders Wanderers, and that group, we use a bunch of stuff like that, and they have those kind of wooden cups, wooden bowls. I don't really know if a cooksa would be like the right thing though, because I don't know if there's any like specific evidence of cooksas from that time period, but we'll see. But if I do find it, I'd like to make something like that, a wooden cup for the Wanderers group.
Yeah, you've done no carving on the channel at all, right?
No, other than the handle of the Scottish dirk. I carved that, but not like spoons or bowls or anything like that. I've never done any carving. That'd be cool.
Drew says he popped up on his shorts. Yeah, because I guess we did 2 days in a row.
Yeah, right.
I was like, what?
I know. I was going to do today's. Why didn't I? Because the podcast. Oh, no, maybe I did it. The post about the podcast. I don't know. I was going to do, because if you guys follow on Instagram, I did the podcast. I just basically found in my phone. Here comes another one.
Mix it up.
In my phone, all the podcast pictures that I have posted about podcasts on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't do every week, but when we have guests and stuff, we do. So there's always the AOC logo with a guest's picture behind it, which I know you don't like, and so we don't do it as much anymore. But I had to actually rearrange.
You had to dig out that old clip.
Yeah. Because when I go into my phone, I can go into pictures specifically from Snapseed, and Snapseed is what I edit the pictures for the podcast on. So I went into Snapseed and I was looking through, and they're all there, they're all just saved on my phone and under Snapseed. So I put them all in. I went through and put a bunch in, and then I went and put a bunch more in. But then the last half of that short was all just images of behind the AOC podcast logo. And so then I had to sprinkle them, move them around, because more recently I've been doing just pictures of the makers that we have guests on or things like that,
Right.
So yeah.
Nice clean look. So,
but that was fun. That was a fun video, and I did the build up of the the audio, so it builds and builds throughout the little whatever 17 seconds, and then at the end it's like, I forget what it says, but the words come up in the song, and it's like, it came up on you like somewhere or something like that. It's like, it came out of nowhere, and then it's bam, episode 200.
Dustin stretches his video creative muscles. He's like, yeah, check it out.
Top 100 tools would I consider scrapers so that it would reduce sanding. So top 100 tools, if that's a reference to the Toolbox 100, it's not top 100, it's $100. It's a toolbox you spend $100 or less to fill. That being said, I do think scrapers are one of those like tools that you should have. I have scrapers, I use them all the time, and it definitely is a really good tool, especially for any type of like shaping, with bow making and all. I do that as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we should. I mean, because that is one of the tools that you put in your Toolbox 100.
I didn't do scraper.
Well, it's a paint scraper.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's different. That's different than a cabinet scraper.
Oh, is he saying cabinet scraper?
Right. A cabinet scraper, because that's what you're using rather than sanding.
I didn't know. I just saw that he said scraper.
Scrape it. No, he means cabinet scraper.
Okay, yeah.
Scraper's a must. Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things, like, I would like to continue the Toolbox 100 challenge and do specific ones, right? So do like a bow making toolbox and a knife making toolbox and a whatever, like a general, like if I was going to give someone a toolbox that was like a general car guy toolbox, right? That would be a little different too, because it's got to have some wrenches, got to have a better socket set,
Deeper sockets.
like more wiring stuff and electrical stuff. I think I think there's just stuff like that would need to be in that, but I think it would be fun to do one like for knife making.
Yeah.
Like was it Matt O'Connell? He reached out and said he was going to do one for welding for like a new welders and stuff.
Yeah, and shout out to Matt. Actually, the thought of it. Well, before we talk about Toolbox 100, I want to say we're gonna, like Dustin said, we're gonna sprinkle out some art of craftsmanship trivia.
Yeah.
That a lot of them are just kind of like guesses, because we know not everyone has seen everything, or maybe they've just seen a few episodes or just listened to the podcast. So since in the chat you can see Drew O'Hara, our brother, is on. He's been on a certain amount of episodes with us, with our brother Derek.
Oh yeah.
And we'll like once every few months we do a Four Brothers podcast, and those are really fun.
So is this the first of the trivia questions you're gonna ask?
So I think we got like 5. We'll just do it throughout the night.
Yeah, so we have a couple questions we're gonna ask, and we mentioned earlier we're gonna do a giveaway of a sticker pack. So some of the Toolbox 100 stickers, and then some AOC stickers. So we got 2 new AOC stickers coming, or one, the Maker Switch we ordered some more of, and then we have a new Art of Craftsmanship logo sticker.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 Toolbox 100 stickers. So.
I don't know about the sound.
I don't know.
I hope it's coming through. Does it sound? I'm going to ask one more time. Let me tap on this, and if you hear a tap, let me know. We're trying to dial it in. It might have unplugged after we... All right.
Yeah, they heard it.
Drew heard it. This is about as good as it's going to get, unless we attach it to, like, here.
Right. Even that, I feel like...
I just think they're really on low.
Yeah. I don't know. They look okay over there. I mean, I'm looking across.
Yeah, but I mean, they're minimal. All right. Well, we'll just keep going. Okay. So the question: How many? Take a guess, folks in the chat. How many Four Brothers podcasts have we had? Yeah. And just take a guess. Whoever's closest will send out a sticker pack with the new Toolbox 100 stickers and a few new Art of Craftsmanship stickers. Dustin will get your name, and then you can send us an email or DM the Art of Craftsmanship. And we'll send those to you.
Yeah. So again, the question is, how many times have we recorded a Four Brothers podcast?
Yeah. Redbeard's got 6.
Scott O'Harris at 325.
That's a little high.
A little high and a little low.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll let that one go for a minute.
See if I got a balance. All right, Edward York, thanks for hanging out for us for a little bit with us. So, all right, so 17 is high. We'll kind of let people narrow it in.
We'll just say, well, yeah, don't let them.
Let them try. So, no winners yet. So again, the trivia, if you get it right, what you can do is you can give us your Instagram name, or we'll send you a DM, and we'll send you a DM if you have Instagram. Let us know what your Instagram is. We'll send you a DM, and then we'll get your address, and we'll send you a sticker pack. Also, if you want to participate in the Art of Craftsmanship Toolbox 100 challenge, you can also just send Devin or I a DM, and we'll send you a sticker pack to participate. Or, if you want to participate, you have your toolbox, you fill it up, we'll send you the sticker pack, and then you could
send us a
toolbox. That's the hope.
And if you're like hashtagging on Instagram or doing stuff on YouTube, let us know, and we'll take a look at it and share it, and then add a sticker pack.
Yeah. Guesses are still not yet. Still not yet. We haven't got it yet. Yeah, you actually came up with the 2 stickers, which are pretty cool. So I know you. The one is the toolbox with wheels and like fire and stuff.
Yeah.
And so you like drew like a little sketch on a piece of paper with the toolbox, and then we just like put that into Photoshop and use that Photoshop AI, or was it?
Yeah. So I'm not a graphic designer, so like everyone else, I'm starting to use Idea for logo designs.
Right. Yeah.
So I showed ChatGPT the design that I drew of a toolbox that looked like a hot rod with flames, and it's saying 100 above it.
Mm-hmm.
And it came out with something close to it. But then you kind of have to work for like an hour to go try this, try that, and then I brought into Photoshop. Then I started adding things and adding my own text,
Right.
changing colors, and the main Toolbox 100 logo that you may have seen on the short. That one was
Kodiak Edge Bladesmithing just got it.
Hey, 10. Nice.
It was 10. People were like kind of commenting back and forth. 17, 19, 12, 5, 9, 8. So 10. All right. So Kodiak Edge, I will.
Yeah, DM.
Okay.
DM Dustin on Instagram, or send an email to theartofcraftsmanship@gmail.com.
Yep.
And we'll send you some stickers. And then, participate. That'd be cool. But yeah, so I don't know. I do feel weird about making anything on AI that goes out as like an official thing.
Right.
Like a official piece of art, like a sticker, a thing.
Right.
When there's still people out there who can make really cool things like that. But if I were to like ask a graphic designer to make me a logo, it's not cheap.
Yeah. Right.
Or any artist to, hey, can you make up something? Because then you go like, well, I like this, but not that. Could you add text? Instead, it's just me fidgeting around at home for 4 or 5 hours, and then by the end of it, I have something.
But that's the thing too. I mean, like you're using a tool to make an idea a reality, right? So it's just like, I'm not gonna, if I were, like the handle to the Scottish Dirk, right? Like I had the idea to carve it into a certain shape, right? Like I would need to use a tool to carve it. I can't just carve it with my fingernails.
Yeah.
So like you had the idea. Literally, like your sketch was almost exactly like the way that the AI brought it out. It was just like, so you gave it the information, and it turned around and gave you back your logo.
That's the
just
nice.
like finished.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the nice version. For Kodiak, he says he can't hear very well. Send it. Just send a message, DM the Art of Craftsmanship, or send an email to the Art of Craftsmanship @gmail.com, and we'll send you a bunch of stickers.
Yeah.
Drew says logos are fun to make. They are, but Drew also has a graphic arts design, so it's a little bit easier. But yeah, and the AI is great, but it's also like it is a tool, but it's a super advanced tool.
Right.
Like you could also say that it could write you a whole script and be like, I'm just using the tool to write a script. It's like, yeah, but
Yeah.
It's a tool that does everything.
Right. But I mean, yeah. No,
To
I
a
agree.
degree.
Yeah. I just think the way you used it, right? Because of how close that final logo came out to like your original drawing. That's like if you just didn't have to pay AI to do it.
Or pay, right.
You know, like you could have taken that same drawing and given it to a graphic designer, and they could have designed it. You just had to pay them to do it.
Yeah.
So
I will say the one
that's
that you see on the short that we did, explaining the rules of the Toolbox 100.
right.
That was its idea. After I put in some like old school, this sketchy was saying this and that, it gave me a bunch. It kept going. I just kept asking it another one, another one, another one, another one
For scripts.
for that logo.
Oh,
with
the
different
logo. Yeah.
with Toolbox and with 100 and with this and with that, and you just
Right.
keep asking and prompting and going, that's nice. And then it's all about like prompting it, dialing it in.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, okay, that's close, but I want all the tools to be different, but it wouldn't do that. So I grabbed a hammer and put a hammer and then a screwdriver and painted in this and painted numbers on like a tape
Right,
and
yeah.
and put a handle on top of the logo. So at least I felt like I was doing something. I was in there with like putting shapes together and painting like on and trying to get it all right, and it came out nice. So those are stickers, and they just got approved
Yeah.
of the final print. So
So we got that.
they'll be sent out here soon.
Yeah. Scott O'Hara, our dad, asks, have you ever thought about making some sort of folding blade knife? I actually made a folding knife years ago. Probably, it may have been before we started the YouTube channel. But I made a folding knife, like just a friction folder. So, a friction folder is a folding knife that doesn't have a locking mechanism. So it's just like the friction of the pivot and the washers that hold it. I made that, and the handle was a piece of antler, so like it's curved just enough, and then I carved out a slot for the blade to go into, and then drilled it out, and I shaped the blade. So the cool thing about like the shape of a folding knife, you have to account for the pivot hole, and then usually a stopper pin, so that way the blade doesn't go all the way out. It doesn't go past how far you want it. So when it swings out, usually you'll see on a friction folder, it has like a little piece sticking off. When you close it, it's got a little piece sticking off the top. That little like nub it's where it's going to spin around and hit a stopper pin, so it doesn't open up further, doesn't open up past where you want it to, and then when it closes into the handle. So that was kind of an interesting shape to find out. Like I had to just kind of draw that and figure that stuff out on my own. I think I just like did that all like.
You just dreamt it.
I was just like, I kind of knew that it had to have something like that, and I just made it. I don't think it had like a thing sticking out, but that was cool. I gave it to a buddy of mine who used to work at Baltimore Design School with me, our custodian.
That'd be a good video. That's definitely something different to work on.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, because we've done, obviously we've done a bunch of knife making videos, but that's one we haven't done. It's a good idea.
Yeah, we're always looking for, well, at least, I don't know, now we'll do a video for the first time, and then we'll do a video again and again, and there's this like, all right, have we explained it thoroughly enough to give like a record of the way Dustin thinks this thing should be made?
Right.
A clear record of the way we think that should be made, and then how much more do we have to share? Does each one have to have all those steps? Because we don't just want to keep repeating how to make the same thing over and over. We usually try to shout out an older video.
Yeah, right.
To be like, hey, if you want to see exactly how I did this, like the refurbishing the mechanical axe.
Right.
You just kind of hang it and go like, hey, if you want to see another video, how I show you all the steps.
All the steps to hang it, right? Yeah.
If you're more interested, I think that's a better way to do it than explaining the whole thing every time.
Right.
Go like, hey, this part, if it's interesting to you, it might not be.
Yeah.
But if it is, and you kind of want to do it, we have this one video with where you write down what you do, and we go step by step. I think that's important to have those videos alongside of ones that are a little bit faster.
Yeah, and I think it's important too because, it's kind of figuring out the difference between making videos for entertainment, maker videos that are entertainment, and maker videos that are instructional. Right, and so not every single one has to be instructional all the way through. Right, it's like not every one of the knife making videos you have to be able to follow step by step, start to finish. Like it can be more about entertainment. You know, we do those time lapses and you just see me doing something or working on something or forging something out. Like that's just entertainment. That's just showing the process.
But I mean, you have to talk a little bit, or maybe you don't.
Yeah.
But then it's just, I mean, there's so many videos of all that stuff, so you might as well include some talking from the person that you're watching.
Right.
To hope that you pull in somebody for like, oh, that's interesting. I like Dustin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch him make a knife.
Right.
You hope that's what happens.
Right.
Because there's so many of just hands and a knife and making something, and those are fine and those are good. But if you want to see the best blades ever made that way, those videos already exist.
Right.
Like, you know,
right,
it's
exactly,
like,
yeah.
so you got to give something else. You got to like come in every once in a while, and be like, hey, this is what I think about this. This is what I think about that. Huh? Like you got to add something to it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because again, that's like the idea of like buying a knife from a craftsman or something. It's like you're paying for the price. You can, if you just need a knife, you can buy a cheap knife and it'll work just the same. But you know, you're paying for the story. So hopefully people are watching for the story and for the personality of the channel and the way we shoot it and the way we present that stuff.
I've just decided I've caught myself in this a few times drinking this. It's not a cool looking drink to drink because I'm like,
what you love? Yeah. What's that?
Piggy's out. It is good. I think I'll make one more and that'll be it. Like can't slam too many.
Hati said, "Nice to see you all live. I really dig the podcast and the channel. It's awesome.
All right,
nice. Love it to have people who do both things.
Those are special, rare fans.
Yeah. And you have our like the what 100 and almost 170,000 subscribers. You know, you got that, and then like a tiny percent of that is the 200. We'll say who listen to the podcast.
More than that.
Know. Well, on regular basis, you know, each week it's somewhere between 200 and 300 is, you know, or I'd say 150 and 300 is kind of like
just giving away our low numbers.
Hey, what are you gonna do? Gmail sent, awesome. But hey, you know, that's not that I wouldn't love having more listeners. Of course, it'd be great to have more listeners, but you know, it is nice knowing that there's like this intimate group. And then there's like the couple percentage of those people who follow you on Instagram. Those are real.
You know who I am. It's pretty good.
Yeah, if you know who Devin is.
Yeah, well, on YouTube, if you don't know who I am, I'm Devin. I'm Dustin's brother. I shoot and edit the videos, and we've been doing that since the beginning.
Yep.
Pretty much every video is done by both of us.
Yeah.
Dustin says, I want to do this, or I suggest, hey, have you ever thought about making this? And then we go from there. I come over. It's a slow process.
Right.
Because we can't just hang out all day. I come over after work, or my wife gets home from work, or someone's watching the kids. Come over and shoot for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And get that done. And I mean, really nothing can be made in 4 hours. Or at least nothing that Dustin makes can be made in 4 hours. So we do. It's always at least 2 days. I'd say usually 4 days.
Yeah.
4 is kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 7. Sometimes it's 2.
Yeah. We haven't really done like a real long shoot in a little while. Just because like, you know, I think with you having a bigger family, you know, you have 2 kids now, and obviously I have a family and we both have full-time jobs and we do stuff. It's like, you know, we want to keep it going because we're passionate about it. It's fun and we like making videos and we like putting stuff out there in the world, and we make a little bit of money, which is always nice. But like it's easier when we know that we can like dedicate 2 days or 3 days or 4 days for video and get it done. And it's another one out there because it's going to take long anyway. You know, like you're editing in between naps and after bedtimes, and you know. Yeah. Yeah. And now, like, yeah, I guess it's been long enough. Corinne's old enough now that if we're like down in the shop till 11 o'clock and making noise, it's not a big deal. But
she's used to it. It's like ambient noise now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Tung, tung, tung.
But you know, 5 years ago or whatever. Yeah, dang. It's been like since 2017. Man, that's
8 years.
Yeah.
8 years.
8 years, yeah. So, you know, 8 years ago, she was, whatever that is, 7, 6. You know, so. Yeah.
I know, it's crazy. So, all right, so having said that, Let's do a little
little trivia.
Kodiak. You can't win again.
So Kodiak did ask if I put walls on the outdoor blacksmith shop yet, and the answer to that question is no. I never really had the intent to put walls in. The idea was just to have the cover over top. Yeah, so no. And also, I don't own the property that I live on, so even like building the smithy was a little bit like I talked with my landlady, but I wasn't, even at the time, I was like, maybe if we move, like, am I gonna cut the, the legs of the lean-to and bring it with me or whatnot? But yeah, no. Any work that I do around this house, of course, it's like, it's making it better, I guess, for me. But our time here, our timeline here on this property is finite. So hopefully we'll, my wife and I and daughter will find a new house soon. We've been looking all over the place, Baltimore County. So my daughter goes to a Baltimore County school, so we have to stay in Baltimore County, which is not a big deal. I grew up in Baltimore County, but it's just a little more expensive. And we're limited to where we can search for houses. So we're looking for a house. We'll see. But I did mention, I guess, last summer or so, my landlady passed away. So now the property has been transferred over to its new owner, which is Maryland Institute College of Art, and they're kind of in a holding pattern on what they're going to do with the property. All that to be said is that no, I have not put any walls on the smithy, and I haven't really found, like, other than in winter when it's cold or when it's like rainy and maybe a little bit breezy out there, it's not that big a deal. Like, I haven't really found a real need it. But.
Yeah. I forgot I was mic'd up, so I'm glad I didn't say anything weird out there.
Yeah, right. And you're still connected, which is good.
I know. I just checked that.
Yeah. What do you want to make more of? Plans? He's asking what are the plans for what I want to make more of.
Everything.
I want to make more bows this year. I don't know if, I'll probably do more videos, but definitely more bows. Actually, I have there are a couple yew trees on our property, which are big giant yew bushes. So I want to cut a couple staves from those branches. And that's going to be like a long game because I'll have to cut it and then it has to wait. Like, they have to season some, they have to dry out. I did just recently get a moisture meter so I can test moisture for that reason. So I'll have to get some footage of me cutting it off and preparing it. Like, so anytime you're preparing staves for bow making, you always want to split out your staves from your bigger piece, and then you paint the ends that you cut with either glue, or you can dip them in wax, or you can put some like latex house paint on them. But you want to put something on them to keep them from splitting, because the ends of your staves, your sticks, are going to dry the quickest, because the grain in a stick is like it's like straws, right? So the liquid, the moisture inside of a tree runs up and down the tree, and so you want to cap that with something to keep the moisture from running out, because otherwise you'll check and you'll crack the end. So I'll have to cut it, split it, because I think the couple that I'm thinking of are big enough that I could probably get like 3 or 4 staves out of. And he was asking so wanting to do, those are yew, so I want to do yew because that'll be fun. I have Osage, so I'm working on a recurve right now for my daughter, which I just backed today with, which I was mentioning earlier when I was cleaning up the spill. Backed with rawhide, and Nicole backed hers. My wife backed hers as well. And then, and then I do have a hickory stave that needs to be finished, so I'll work on that one as well. Kiln drying shed, paint or glue? Yes. Paint or glue, either one works fine. Anything, like I've used latex paint and I've used glue, either one.
All right, so on the last podcast, we did talk a lot about Toolbox 100.
Yep.
So I'm going to go in a little bit again for people who don't, you already told for people who don't know what the rules are.
Yeah, I haven't really talked about it too much, but yeah, The rules are you buy a toolbox or make a toolbox, but you get a toolbox and you fill it with tools for under $100, $100 or less. And the reason for that is like it's the challenge is to find cool tools and not just, not just buy all the tools, because you could buy all the best tools and spend $1,000 on a toolbox.
Right.
But the idea is like, where do you find good deals on tools? That's one of my favorite things about being a maker is finding cool old vintage tools.
Mm-hmm.
And the treasure hunt of finding it, finding it and not paying an arm and a leg.
Mm-hmm.
Like the S-Wing hammer I got for $2, but I've also seen them for $15 or $20, so some people know what they have, or some people just, care more or less. They get them all the time, so they just sell them. Like the one that I got for $2 because it was just in a bucket, and I lifted it up, and the guy was like, "Yeah, $2." I was like, "Sweet, awesome." Done. But that's the hunt is what I think is fun, and also, those guys, there's a couple old guys at a couple different flea markets around Baltimore that I love to go and get stuff from because they're just cool old dudes, and they just find cool tools, and they're always reselling them. So help them out too, make a little bit of money.
So we have the toolbox before it is given away. You want to pull a couple of the interesting things out?
Sure.
Now we're making the official video now. It's almost done. I just didn't have time because work and stuff. So that'll be out early next week, where Dustin goes over every tool, where he got it. We have footage of him getting most of them. And then I realized, so we did, most of them were found at flea markets and all types of cool places. But then we realized, and it said in the video, that some stuff you just need new.
Yeah.
And if you're being thrifty, you're going to go to like a Harbor Freight or wherever, or shop on Amazon and buy stuff for really cheap. And that's kind of a part of the challenge, is to stay under $100. So Dustin did end up buying a lot of stuff at Harbor Freight and AutoZone, and nothing from Amazon, but those were the two places where you got really cheap stuff like glue and safety glasses and things that you just kind of need to buy new. Yeah,
that was some of the things, right? Some things just make more sense. Like, and I'll show one of them is the double rubber mallet. Something like this. So this is a double-sided soft mallet. So it has the yellow plastic face and the black plastic face. So they're soft mallets, good for like striking anything that's metal, or striking the end of a handle, anything that you don't want to use a hard-faced hammer for. And I find these at yard sales and at flea markets and stuff, and I'm sure I could get them. I could get a used one, but I think this might have been one of the more expensive things. It might have been $5.79 or something. I think this.
I think it was like $7.
Yeah, was it $6.99? Whatever.
Yeah.
So either way, it's like buying this new wasn't breaking the bank. And so I'd rather just buy a new one, so I know both faces are clean and good, and it's going to last the person a long time, rather than buying a used one that's already damaged because it's cheap, right? So, but something like the S-Wing hammer, this I don't want to buy new because it's not that expensive. It's like $25 or something for a new S-Wing hammer, but there's something cool about the vintage S-Wing hammer, like it has some use to it. It's got the handle's got some wear to it. It's the darker blue, and it's got patina on it and all. And like something like that, I like, I like having something like that that's a little bit older and a little bit more vintage. So yeah.
Anything else? Any other little
tidbits?
Yeah.
We have the Stanley 25.
I will say,
Stanley
not an impressive find, but the impact that a new tape will put on your budget for $100.
Oh yeah,
it's like $30.
Yeah,
right? 30 or 40 bucks.
Yeah, right.
So that is a huge one to find.
Mm-hmm.
If you can find that one works well.
Yeah.
Which that one does. It's just like when you have.
It does. It has a little bit of
a little.
That sound. It's like, I don't know why it has that sound, but it must be just like rubbing on the inside of it, whatever. But like I pulled it all the way out. You always want to check to make sure there's no cuts and no bends in the tape measure because that will break quicker, and also that it extends all the way out. So I
think that was $2 or $3.
Yeah, right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, and I'm sure actually I could probably find the actual age of this, but
I mean, it's probably 10 years old. It's nothing crazy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this logo looks like either a little older or just like, I don't know where I got it from, but yeah. And something like, so another thing that I got from Harbor Freight, which I'll show, is the ratchet set. So this is something that I could have found. So there's just like a simple ratchet set. It's got small to, that's probably 3/4 of an inch or so, the biggest, maybe a little bit bigger, like, I don't know. But I don't think it's quite 7/8, but maybe it's 3/4 of an inch. But, that set, having everything there and all together, and I could have spent some time searching for ratchets and for sockets, but that is not exciting to me. Like, I'd rather just get a cheap, I think that was $7 or $6 or something, right, for the ratchet set. And that's going to have everything together. The one thing that it's not great about that set is that probably the actual ratchet is not great. The mechanism is probably kind of
But ratchets you can find.
But ratchets, yeah, right, exactly. The actual ratchet you can find. And I actually have a couple that came in the toolbox, with this toolbox, which I paid the $50 for.
If you can probably throw one of those in there just as a...
Right, I know. I actually had that.
Hey, if that one breaks on you,
there's another one. Yeah.
Here's a good one. But you want something with all those sizes there available.
Right, exactly.
And easily seen.
Yeah.
And if you want to buy a good one, obviously you're starting it again over $30, $40. You can spend as much as you want on a ratchet set.
Yeah.
$100, $200. It is.
But like a roll of electrical tape, right? That I want to buy that new, because of course I'm going to put that in there new. A little. I also got the torpedo level. Because then you're not exactly sure if they've been banged around or dropped, or if the level's off. So that ideally should be straight.
But yeah, it's cool. You're giving that away soon.
Yeah, I love this toolbox. Man, I found this. It's like it's just the coolest looking red toolbox. So awesome and classic. It also has these like beautiful these little feet on the corners, which is so cool.
I'd say presented, but you're going away from the mic.
Yeah, right. People could see it. Red, nice. It's got a little bit of spray paint on top, so it's got a little love on there, but that's a good spot for me to put the Toolbox 100 stickers. So that's the plan. So yeah, also like we're waiting for this to be, waiting for the stickers to come in to get that last final shot for the video. So we'll see.
We'll see if it makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. If you guys want to join in, or even if you're new, you can do it. We also mentioned that in the video. If you want to join in and you don't, you're not going to give it away, that's fine too. It's not a huge bugaboo.
I got 2 comments on the Toolbox 100 announcement as a short on YouTube, and one was like a positive, and the other one, someone was like, they didn't agree with the Toolbox 100. They were like, you're just going to give it away and someone's not going to appreciate it. They're going to take it to a yard sale and they're going to sell it to someone else or a pawn shop. And they were like, I got to disagree with you on this one.
All right.
It's like, dang, okay. Weird. Like,
strong.
I know.
Thoughts on giving something away.
I know. Yeah, that's the whole point. It's like, we're trying to do good, just give some things away and, bring some other people along. So
we don't need your commie toolbox program, all right?
Hive tool. Dad says a hive tool is a very useful, very versatile pry bar. I did have that thought.
Pry bar would be a good one.
Yeah, there's like that common paint scraper, which is the scraper with the point on the end and the little hexagon attached to it. And I almost got one of those. That was a thought too. I do have a paint scraper in the box, but it's kind of a flexible one. So
yeah,
there's a scraper. But yeah, a little pry bar. That is something that I definitely could put in there.
Theo says they have something called Princess Auto at the Harbor Freight.
Yes. Princess Auto is the Harbor Freight equivalent in Canada. Theo.
What's the
I was like the Odal.
the autogul?
The Odal.
Hello, the autogul.
Kodiak,
Milwaukee.
Kodiak asked earlier about sinew versus hide glue. Or no, sorry, sinew versus rawhide backing. I have not done sinew backing. I think it would be great. It just takes a lot longer. I think it's just a longer process. You have to like get all the sinew and you have to put it all down. You have to build up a layer. The nice thing about sinew backing as opposed to rawhide backing is that sinew will add, it will give more spring to your bow. So you're like stretching out the sinew and sticking it down, and as it dries, it shrinks. Rawhide does that as well, but you're not really stretching rawhide the same way. So it's like it's shrinking some, but it's more just turning hard. Sinew is actually shrinking, so it's actually like putting more tension on your bow. So if you want a bow that is going to be backed and also is going to be faster, because then you would use sinew, because that's actually going to add more speed to your bow.
Like that much more? We're talking like 5% or 20%? Or 2%?
I don't know. I just think it's any percent more than, like if you want to put the effort into it, and you can do it either one, sinew or rawhide, and you want it to affect it positively. Like if you need weight, like maybe you tillered it and it's lower than you want, and you need to add weight back to it,
And
you can back it with sinew, and that'll add some weight to it. If you back it with rawhide, it won't really add weight to it. So, but rawhide's easier. So it's kind of like depending on what you want to do. That's why. And so the bows that I'm making they're not hunting bows. They're just recreational bows. So, I mean, they could be used for hunting, but I'm not worried about the little bit of, like the lack of additional like weight that, rawhide adds to it, to the ends, or the fact that it doesn't add more draw weight.
Yeah, and I mean the bows you make are still plenty heavy, and they would definitely kill an animal from the distance that you would need to shoot a bow like that anyway.
Yeah, right.
All right, some more questions, some more trivia. Let's see if anybody wants to answer this. Anybody new? We got some trivia questions from the background of Art of Craftsmanship. We did. All right, speaking of bow videos, how many bow videos have we made?
There you go.
First one to come up with that, we'll send a sticker pack. At least 4 new stickers.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We have 15 people watching right now. So, how many bow videos have we done? I did talk earlier about rewatching the 100th video that we did, which was the 100-pound war bow. Hati says making a bow is on my list this year. Yeah, that's I didn't make any new bows last year, and that's why I wanted to kind of make another bow this year, and so I made a kind of a New Year's resolution to make more bows. So I'm working on bow number 1 right now.
Yeah, that bow video, I'm really proud of that altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And what we caught it breaking in the video, the big shoot off we did at the end of the video, the war bow short, like little film thing we did in the beginning.
It was awesome. Yeah.
It's a really really proud of that video, and I wish it had as many views as the other 2.
Right. Yeah.
But maybe we got to rename it and maybe do a new thumbnail. Just see if that does anything.
If they were listening closely, you just gave away the answer to the trivia question.
Well, no, I said, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, that's that was fun, and that one has the has like the bow breaking in it as well, which is absurdly dramatic, and it's awesome that we caught it on camera. It's like, yeah. Let's see. I've this guy Hati says 18. No, not 18.
7.
I have some
6.
ash staves dry. Ever used ash? I have used ash. I actually have. I'm currently working on an ash stave. Um, I've been doing it at the Kodiak Edge bladesmithing. Got it right, but you can't win a second sticker pack. Sorry.
You shouldn't have said anything.
Well,
I gave it away, but then you said I gave it away.
well, I was hoping someone would say it. Yeah. So, what was I saying? I forget. Talk about something.
Well, how about we give it away to Hut, since he's closest?
What did he say?
6.
6. Yeah, and Redbeard Knife and Tool also guessed 6, but he guessed it afterward. All right. So yeah. So the answer was 3. So we did the Osage bow. That was the first one, the Osage orange, and then I did a hickory bow, which actually we reached out to the teacher who was originally taught us to do bow making, Kirk Dreyer. He sent us the hickory, and then the third was the 100-pound war bow. What I was saying before ash, they asked about if I'd used ash. I have not. Yes, I've been making a bow out of ash. The first bow I ever made was out of ash, and it was green wood, and so it didn't turn out great. And it was like 25 pounds or something, and that was the first bow I made, I guess, as an adult, right? Because we made bows and stuff when we were kids, but we learned about the class. We signed up for the class, and leading up to the class, I was really excited about doing the bow making class. So Sean and I, my buddy Sean and I, we went out and found a tree and cut it down and split it into 2 staves. We both made bows out of it. But it was green wood and it wasn't aged at all, so it didn't hold out well. So that was the first ash bow. That was the first bow that I ever made recently. And then I'm working on an ash stave. So, what's his Instagram name? It's the Italian. I can't remember his name, his Instagram off the top of my head, but at Maker Camp, he dropped off a stave at my booth because I was doing the bow making demos, and he was like, "Yeah, I want to come back." Pater Nostri Fabrica. That's his Instagram.
There he goes.
Pater Nostri Fabrica. That's his Instagram. He dropped off a bow stave at the booth, and he was going to come back and like try working on it when I was working on stuff to get some pointers. And he wasn't able to come back, and then he left the stave there, so I brought it home. So in the meantime, I've started to work on it as a longbow. So I've been using it at the Norders Wanderers events because it's what they would have had. The Vikings would have had ash in it, so I've been building it the way they would have built it, which is a longbow style, tapered end to end. That being said, that bow is that stave is not great because it's full of wormholes and it's all like punky and stuff. So I've been continuing to work on it just because it's a good demo piece.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I would do. Like I'm considering maybe I don't know, soaking it all or something, or going in with like super glue and filling in all those, but it's completely riddled with bug holes. So yeah, well.
It's kind of a lost cause.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, should I finish it for him? And started chopping it away, just using a hatchet and stuff to like shape it down. I was like, it's completely every like inch there's a little hole, and it's like the like kind of the cork when you see like a bug hole and it's been like eaten, so it's like left behind like soft like cork.
Yeah.
Powdered wood. So.
Have you talked to him since, or you just?
I have not. No. Hati.
He's like, you stole my thing, and you've been ruining it.
Working on it. I know. No, he's a good guy. Like, it's funny because we met him at Maker Camp. I wonder if he was at Blade Show. I can't remember if he was at Blade Show or not. But we've hung out with him a couple years in a row now, and he's a good dude. I talked to him. He and Jake from Metal Chef Customs, who was one of our people who put in a quote. The 3 of us were sitting down and chatting for a while that last night when you went to bed early.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was cool. It was a good conversation. All right, so Kodiak Edge and Hati, you guys both will get free sticker packs. So yeah. Let's see, 6 inches or more for limbs. Straight grain limbs, no knots. Let's see. Limbs are my idea for trunk, isn't it? I'm just looking back at some of these questions. Possible to make a bow from a limb instead of the trunk? Yes. And Kodiak has been answering some of those questions in the comments as well. But yes, you can definitely make a bow from a limb. That's fine. The idea is that you just want the strength of a self bow. So a self bow is all one piece of wood. Is in the single growth ring along the back of the bow. The back of the bow is the part that faces away from you when you draw the bow. So you want a single growth ring the whole way. And so you can make a bow out of a limb, just depending on the limb, but you can cut it away, you can make it, if you dry a limb and the handle could be one side of it and the bow could be the other side of it, but the back of the bow is going to be a lot more curved, right? You're going to have a curve because you got to keep that limb wide enough so that way you can have the back of your bow. Yeah, so definitely you can make it out of a limb. It's better. It would be a better stave if you had something that was a little bit bigger, something 6, 7, 8 inches that you can split down into staves, split down into like pieces of pizza from a pie. So that's kind of what you're looking for. Then ideally you're able to get a bigger stave with, if you're making like a Native American flat bow, then you're doing flat limbs. If you're doing a D style bow, which is what English longbows are made, those styles, like, it's a little bit different. And the different woods are different too. So depending on the wood, some woods would be better as limbs, and some woods you definitely want to have, bigger trunk. But it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's not necessarily the trunk versus the limb. It's the size. It's the diameter of that piece of wood that you're looking for. Yeah. All right. What do you got? You want to do another trivia question?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up some questions here.
Okay.
Some normal questions from the YouTube channel. We get a bunch, certain ones a lot.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
What was I gonna say? I had a question. I had a general trivia question to ask people, see if they knew, but not for a prize.
We'll do another one for AOC trivia. Bow videos. Dustin's daughter's nickname.
Yeah.
In the videos and the podcast, we usually refer to her as this.
Yeah, I don't call her Corinne. I mean, like I'm not opposed to calling her Corinne, but she has her own tag nickname as someone who's been part of almost every single one of our videos.
Right.
So what is my daughter's nickname for the channel?
Yeah, and if you did know, she's hiding in most of the videos.
Yeah.
Probably 90% of the videos, she's hiding somewhere in the video. So if you see a lot of people like, it's like freaks them out a little bit because she's just staring in a window.
Yeah, right.
There are a lot of kind of creepy ones if you don't like.
Hi, Mom.
But she's in the background of a lot, hidden. Dust will just call her down and, hey, we're gonna do this shot, and I just kind of do it wide. And
Mom got it. She popped in. She said, "Hi guys, shop elf." That's okay. We'll send her a sticker pack.
She doesn't.
Mom, you get a sticker pack.
Mom. Mom, you don't get to play. You can have whatever stickers you want.
Yeah, right. I think she just popped in and she was. Oh no, I guess she. Yeah. So the trivia for those again who are hanging out with us. The trivia is if you guess the trivia, the first person to guess it or get it right gets a sticker pack sent to them. So there you go. So it is the shop elf. Yeah, I don't know how that name happened or came about, but we just started calling her the shop elf because she was like it's the like hiding in the background, the little kind of like magical hidey thing.
Yeah.
And she was always around the shop somewhere, hiding somewhere, like poking her face out. Or I like the ones where you wouldn't see her unless she moved. And so you would have her like move just a little bit. Like you're like, okay, do this where you're like here, and then you like just lean your head out to the right or something. So yeah, that was kind of fun. Like, because then she's like, as people get freaked out, they're like, oh, why is there a weird, like, creepy face in the background in this certain spot? But yeah, so that was always fun. I know we need to, like, she's not in the Toolbox 100 video. Maybe if we do get the stickers before we get that ready to
I mean,
go.
she's not in like the last 3.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's just like we were shooting them quick and you know just forgot.
She's old now. She's doing stuff. She's not in the house.
Yeah, I know.
Mom
It's
said
crazy.
give it to someone else. So why don't we give it to, if he's still here, why don't we give it to Redbeard Knife and Tool? Because he also guessed 6 on the last one.
Okay, I like that.
Redbeard Knife and Tool, if you're still here, buddy,
Yeah.
let us know. Send it to theartofcraftsmanship@gmail.com or the Art of Craftsmanship on Instagram.
So there you go. My mom gave you her wings. No, I know Redbeard. He's a good dude. He's got some cool videos. I've actually shouted him out on the podcast before because he was doing a like I forget what video, but he was doing a specific video series on hanging axes or whatever. So right now he's doing a series on that as well. So he has some cool YouTube videos of hanging axes. Axe guy, another axe community guy. Love it. Yeah. So next videos we're working on after that one. Again, I'd like to do. I have another stave kind of in the works. Like I started preparing it a little bit, but I kind of held off. But I would like. There you see, he's still here. I would like to get some footage of cutting down a couple of pieces of yew, so that way then like this summer, you know, they'll have some time to dry. And you know, when you're drying bow staves, you can dry them in a certain different ways. And I know that Kodiak Edge mentioned earlier, like using a kiln drying box, and you can do that. You know, I could put them kind of in a box, and usually with that you want to do it slowly. So it's like you build a box and you put like a couple light bulbs in there, and just the light will like warm up the area enough. So there's that. You know, I could do that, but also, you know, I don't really have room to build a new kiln drying box. So it's kind of just like cutting them down. The other way you can speed up the process of drying for bow staves is to just shape them down a lot further, right? So you can cut your staves. You can take the bark off. That's one way, so you can get some like moisture coming out. But also, if you do a bunch of shaping, like general shaping, so get it down to the right width, get it down to the right depth, you know, shape everything out into like these big forms before you start tillering. Just get it down to the depth, and then it'll like the less wood there, the quicker it'll dry. So that's probably what I'll do is I'll cut them, I'll prep them a little bit, get them like ready, and I'll get some footage of that so we can see that like over time, and then there can be like however long it's going to take, 6 months or something, and then do the bow making videos later in the summer, you know.
Yeah. All right, so some memories. Do you have any knife or axe or bow or anything that stick out? I'll say one that sticks out for me. It's, I guess, neither was the grill or the fire pits on a grill.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
one
the
for me,
55
which
gallon drum fire
was
pit.
one of those videos where you're like, I guess we'll record it just because Dustin wanted to make one.
Yeah.
Was your other one was falling apart, right?
Yeah, I'd gone through a couple different fire pits, and was just like, I've had the idea to make a fire pit for quite a few years. My original thought was to use an old like cement mixing tray. Like they had those metal trays that I always saw like all over the place when we were a kid. You know, and they were obviously always like full of old concrete or whatever, but they were good sizes. So I thought about that, and then I thought about like just getting some steel and making my own. And then, you know, I've also always kind of liked the 55-gallon drum, like put up on its side and just, you know, or just stood up normal and just filled with wood and burning. It's like that the hobo scene from all the movies where they're always like standing around a drum with like wooden stuff. So but yeah, so I like the idea of the 55-gallon drum, and so I had that thought, like maybe we'll cut sideways. That should make like a cool looking, you know, fire pit, and big enough that you can have like a good sized fire in it. So yeah, I just wanted to make the fire pit, and then I guess we were, again, it's just one of those things like, oh, let's make a video of it because I'm gonna make it anyway, so I might as well make a video of it.
Yeah, it's funny now. So now the fire, it's got in the steel drum, it's got plenty of holes in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue that people seem to have with it was the aluminum rivets, which are all
Right.
like pristine still.
Yeah, right. They're like, those rivets are gonna, because I used all the aluminum rivets to pop rivets to like hold some things in place. I guess it was all on the lid though. All that mesh was all held together by pop rivets.
But they're thinking like, oh, let's be right in the flames, and
yeah, right.
and what are they gonna do? Even if it melts, it'll melt closed.
Yeah, right.
It's not going to boil off and fall down into the fire.
Yeah, right.
Like, what do you think it's going to do?
It's outside.
You won't ever be able to take those rivets off because they'll be melted together. Like, perfect.
Great.
I fused them from the fire.
Yeah, right. No, yeah, it was funny. That video definitely got like the most quote unquote hate. Like the most negative comments. Everyone, like, so much so that we shot a year later. We're like, all right, we're doing a follow-up video on this.
Did it? Did it fail? Was it terrible?
No, it didn't rust. It didn't fall apart.
It was fine.
And I still have it. I still use it. I did. There are a few spots that have finally rusted out, and so I actually used some pieces. Those pieces that we cut out, the windows that we cut out for the top part. I still have them, and they're still the right bend. So I just actually bent them back and slid them down in on the sides to like fill in some rusty spots.
And I mean, it's a metal fire pit that sits outside.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much
year round.
Most of them will, unless they're half-inch thick, whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And for that being however thin it is, it's thin, right? Those 55-gallon drums, they're not thick. It's thinner than any other fire pit that you're going to buy.
Right. They'll
retail.
all be a little thicker.
Yeah.
And they still might rust out.
Yeah, it's like a 16th or something, if that, maybe even less. But yeah,
it's a pit. It's a metal pit.
Yeah. Some of the videos that I always like doing the axe videos because I just love doing axes, and that's actually, I think, the most amount of requests we get on videos are people who are asking us to do more axe content. But it's always like whenever we put up an axe video, people are like, yeah, axe content, do more. We love seeing axe content. Do more axe content. So, but
we're like, okay, it's usually just what falls in line with whatever you have to make at the time. Or you're like, hey, I got this thing, I wanna do it, and
right.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
When do you have to do it by? All right, I'm free next week. Let's shoot.
Right, exactly. Yeah, something I want to make or whatever. Yeah, and there's never a lack of those things like doing like that, like just Dad suggesting doing a folding knife, right? Something like that. Like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about doing that. That'd be kind of make a video.
Our brother Drew says it's not going to get hot enough to melt the aluminum anyway, unless they were in the coals. Right. Yeah, exactly. And he's been melting stuff for a while. He's like, trust me, if it was that easy, I'd do it.
Yeah.
Right. To have something pour, just come on.
Right. Yeah.
But that's all right. People love to tell you. And I will say, and I understand the gut instinct to try to tell someone who's telling you the rules.
Right.
Like someone on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something. Dustin's just telling his process. And of course, it's not going to be the best because Dustin isn't a master of any of these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just trying to explain how he does it. Right. Like, this is my result. If you like the result, you can do the same thing. Yeah. I'm just trying to explain the way I did it.
Yeah. And I'm a teacher, so I'm used to like pointing out the specific things that I think make sense for me to point out. If it's something that's self-explanatory and you can just see it happening, then that's fine. But if there's some little tip or trick that I think is important, that's not only for that thing, that's just like a good trick, or tip or whatever. I usually try to mention those as well. But yeah. So
your favorite are the axes?
I think the axe videos are always good. I like hanging axes, and that's always fun to do on camera.
I will say though, it's not, doesn't make for great repeat content, hanging an axe.
Yeah, right.
Because it's such a, you got to see things move. Things have to move and change. And hanging an axe, you don't see anything. You see that it doesn't fit.
Right.
And it doesn't fit. it doesn't fit, and then it fits, and you're pleased with it.
Yeah, right.
But you didn't see like this thing's chopped and then gunk.
Right.
This thing's lifted and then boom. Like it's
Yeah, I think and to me, you know, if I'm watching a video of someone hanging an axe, it's like I like it because they talk about a little bit about the history, you know, or the style, or the shape, or the form. You know, like I like that stuff as well. So I usually try to incorporate that or show the cool stuff. You know, like this is the Connecticut, you know, like Collins Legitimus. Like that's a cool. You know, it's like one of the
right.
one
Now
of my favorite
I
acts,
do
you know,
like
so.
I do like the axe content. We just need a different you know
Yeah.
mechanical axe,
Right. Exactly.
rare
Yeah.
axe of this
Right.
what's the one Raven, Black Raven.
Yeah, Black Raven, right. Yeah, something rare. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just I'll hold off and mention. I'll use that as my recommendation at the end.
But yeah, I mean, because a lot of people distill that down on Instagram to a 20-second thing, like hang the axe, boom, 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 and it's
Right.
on. Hey, take a look, it's pretty. So it's hard to have that, and then watch it really be slowly put on.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and that's you know, every time we do an axe video, there's some other angle. It's not just hanging an axe. It's like we did this is the 10 steps to hang a vintage axe, but we were using the Whiskey River 30C handle, you know, the mechanical axe, the Collins Legitimus, you know, restoring a rare axe in a flood, when the basement flooded. You know, so there's always some other angle, but I do like the axe videos. I mean, I like the blacksmithing stuff because I really enjoy blacksmithing, and that's kind of fun because you see things change. But I like to do smaller stuff. I guess that was like 2 summers ago when I was doing the Instagram reels on like changing things from one thing to another. So I did like the the spatula from the lawnmower blade, and I made a ladle out of a railroad spike, and
I mean, those we should do more of those.
right.
Because it is a simple, interesting idea. This from that, especially spatulas and ladles. I'm always looking for a quicker thing that you don't have to heat treat.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah,
It's like you're not banging on a ladle, and if you are,
no, yeah, there's no
my
heat treatment.
my ladle's crooked. Stop hitting it on things. It bent. Why are you hitting
It's
it
not
on?
a weapon. Let's see.
Hey, Abby Girl TV, friend of the channel.
Nice AOC learning course coming out. That's too much. Too much content.
Dustin doesn't want to say, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, right. I teach all day long. I don't want to have to teach. Learning content. All of the content is learning content.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah, right. Redbeard Knife and Tool says that's kind of what I'm trying to do for my series, 52 axe patterns. He's doing one pattern per, what's that, weeks? 52 weeks. So 52 axe patterns, exploring the different challenges that come with the different patterns.
Yeah, I think there are, not teaching, but there are a lot of opportunities to just talk about your love of things, just like you suggested for like Howling Wolf and some of the other people we've had on. Like, I see how.
I know. I said the same thing. Howling Wolf.
You're always like, hey, I want to hear your more of your like raw love about the subject, which also you don't share as much as well.
Right.
Like during the videos, we get a few reactions of like, oh yeah, but that's it.
Yeah, right.
There's not much more than that. So just you sitting down and holding stuff and talking about it, that would be a cool,
right,
an easy thing to shoot and record.
Yeah, right.
So we could do,
I liked the videos where we were answering some questions. That was kind of fun. So we'd have like the trolley question at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then answer a couple questions. That was a cool series we did. We don't realize most of my content is sped up to music. Granite Kova says, I'm just over here hoping you don't realize most of my content is sped up to music.
I mean, yeah, a lot of processes are long. You got to do something. We use time lapse all the time.
Yeah.
And
right.
if I weren't editing them and Dustin, started his channel on his own, he'd probably do that stuff too.
Yeah.
Because just like, I did the thing, I made the thing, and now.
Right, exactly.
Here, I'll talk over it or something, like a lot of people do. And I watch that stuff too.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why we like that sped up stuff or time lapse is because it shows the amount of work that goes into it. That's one of the other big questions people always say is like, "Oh, how long did it take you?" Well, we shot a YouTube video,
I
so it took
know.
us 4 times as long.
We
as it
need
would.
like a running timer every time you start. Like
Yeah, right, exactly.
maybe that'll be your thing at the end. Be like, this took me
Yeah, right.
21 hours. If we weren't shooting, it would have taken 15.
Yeah,
Like,
right, exactly. Yeah, but that's one of those things that if you want to show the audience that it took time, use a time lapse because it's like this is how long it took.
yeah.
You know.
Because you can see over and over and over and over and over again. It's just someone,
right,
and it's going 1,000 times speed. You see that they're in there
Right.
for a long time. Abigail says, "What are you drinking?" We said earlier we made some orange crushes as a special drink, but we moved on from them because we can't drink them all night.
Yeah.
We'll never make it out of here.
I've drank 1.5.
See, he broke his.
Yeah, if you saw
You're
that.
just
earlier
joining.
on.
Roll it back to about minute 10 on Dustin smashes it on the
Dropping
ground.
and smashing one of my orange crushes, so I drank. That's my second one. 1.5.
Gotta go. So you could. Yeah.
Definitely favorite drink. And now I'm drinking a New Belgium classic Voodoo Ranger IPA. Yeah. Actually, when I was up, so we went up to Fort Loudon, PA. I was there with the Viking group I'm part of, the Njorð's Wanderers. I think Njorður is the god of sea travel, like seafarers. So our group, the idea is that we're a group of traveling kind of merchants, and so it can be different people. We're traveling all around the North Seas, stopping at places, setting up a trading camp, trading with the locals, and then moving on to different places. But we were going up to the event at Fort Loudon, and we stopped in PA to pick up some beer on the way, and I picked up some Black and Tans because they're like a darker beer, which look good for if I'm pouring it. Yeah, some Yingling Black and Tan. So when I have it inside of my like ceramic cup that I drink from, and whatever, it looks like a darker beer or something. But there was a 20 or a 36 pack of the New Belgium, like this, big pack of lots of a variety of IPAs from New Belgium, which I love their Juicy Hazy, which is the other one that I've already finished. This is the Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze IPA. It's one of my favorites.
Nice. How long have we been going, Dust? Do we know?
Yep, we've been recording on the podcast for 1 hour and 38 minutes.
Okay, so we got a few more questions, a few more things, real quick. Abigail TV, which is a friend and also a good friend, my buddy Guy. He makes Guy go into a biker bar and order a pair of orange crushes. No, this is true. And it was we did the whole NCR trail, which we did a recap of that.
Yeah,
like
we did
like
a podcast a
year ago or a year and a half.
Did we have Guy and Drew, or
we had just Drew, I think. I think Guy didn't comment. Was he on it? I think maybe he was.
Yeah, Guy was on the podcast at one point. Maybe it was both of them. There were a few people I didn't send out the Toolbox 100 challenge. It was people who weren't specifically makers.
Right.
Like we've had a few people on, like our cousins and like Nicole and Corinne have been on and stuff, but yeah. She's got jokes.
So it's right off the trail, the bike trail. Yeah. And it's biker bar. It's just an old, not an old, it's just a little,
just a bar.
A local towny bar.
Yeah, right.
A little hole in the wall towny bar kind of thing. But I realized they have a juicer and they had it up on the chalk, Orange Crush specials. So yes, I did send them in there, but it wasn't just like it was out of nowhere. They had specials up on the wall. I love an Orange Crush. Is there anything non-manly about wanting some fresh orange in your drink? I'm gonna spend $5 on like a Yingling. Like,
Yeah,
all right, give me $8 to have an Orange Crush.
right.
So yeah, I was like, God, give me some Orange Crushes going in. It took him like 15 minutes. I don't know what he did. But a good Orange Crush at a bar is, they do it right there. They
I would have said something that I couldn't say on
no
YouTube.
no cursing.
I was like,
But a good Orange Crush is made right there. They'll put it right in your cup and then boom. And they were good. They make a good one. So man, we'll go again. And
nice. Where was that? Was that one that we went to?
What's that?
Or was it a different
What's
one?
that? Seven Spring. What's the before that? Valley Seven something Valley.
Is it somewhere that we went when we did our?
Yeah. I think we stopped there.
Because we stopped at one place where we parked the bikes and we kind of sat outside.
Yeah,
before
there's
this.
like
Is
right
that
on the
it?
wall.
Yeah,
in front of the
That's
road.
where it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, that's where I envisioned. That's
it's a
fine,
little
yeah.
bit of a
Yeah, because
kinda-
inside it's kind of like the bar. Because we went in and got drinks when we went.
yeah.
We all
Yeah,
and
got
we-
like the
I think we
Yingling,
actually got like New Belgium or something. I think they might have had like something like that. So a
Right.
good beer or something. Yeah.
Everyone else was ordering local slush. Here
69
comes guy asking for
from
Orange
mines.
Crushes.
Still wearing like e-bike helmets. Hey guys, we have orange crushes. So that's when she had to tow yours because your battery died.
He did have to tell me once in the rain. I was hanging on to his super bike. He's like, I got 100 miles of range.
Which is the same bike that we got that we used on that we. Did
It's
the
a
review on the
it's a
channel.
little different, but it's
Well, yeah,
same
yeah,
brand.
It's the same brand, yeah.
Yeah, no, good bikes all around.
That was a cool video. The motorized bike video was cool.
Mm-hmm.
You had that idea early on, like years before we did it, like 2 or 3
Oh,
years.
to do the actual gas.
Get the gas
I
bike
did
and
want
do the
one.
motor, yeah.
I was like, let's make one, because at the time I was living in an apartment in a like a guy's. It's kind of like a farm apartment, above a garage.
Yeah,
But we
right.
had a lot of area to ride around.
Right.
So it'd be cool if I had a little like moped, and e-bikes were too expensive at the time to think about.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, you can buy $100 Chinese motor and stick it onto a bike. We already have like a cruiser bike. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
And then we did it like 2 years later.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then we also, by then I had an e-bike, and then Dustin,
right.
someone reached out to us to offer us e-bikes.
Right.
So we said
Yeah,
we will
that-
take one and
yeah.
compare it against it.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a cool video, and that like the cool factor of that bike is super cool.
Yeah.
That was fun. Like, just that motor. The one thing that that the motor is not the strongest motor. The engine is not the strongest engine. So like, as a big dude, like it struggles if you're going uphill. Like, you gotta really get some momentum going, Whee! And go because it's like it's one gear. Like. Like it's really.
That's e-bikes too.
But it zips though. Once you got some speed, man, it's like whoa.
And my
cool.
my wife every once in a while will like pull up to me next on, because we have the exact same Rad Runner 2 e-bikes. She'll pull up next to me and she'll just like look at me and then gun it. And she just takes off because she weighs about 100 pounds. Like 3 of her. Like if a breeze is coming my way, I take a major speed hit.
That's great.
I got to tack into the wind.
Yeah, right. You got to cross the wind so you're not straight into that
Get me
wind.
directly on.
Sailing. Sailing jokes. Good job. Got her on the downhill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you get
do.
the momentum.
Momentum, a little bit too fast. Brakes start to squeal and burn.
Get turn red.
We're smoking.
Boing. Oh man. So I don't want to like name favorite podcast guests, but we've had some cool podcast guests.
You
on.
can't do that.
I will say I'll do. So I think the funniest disaster story that was ever told on the podcast was Brandon Roos from Whiskey River Trading Company, and he talked about falling through a ceiling when he was like up in the building that he has now, and he's like doing something up in the attic area, and he fell through the fell through the drywall, the ceiling, and landed on a table and broke the table. Which is hilarious. I was cracking up, man. And it's funny because before he told that story, he had some videos, some shorts or whatever, some YouTube videos in that space, and you could see this like purple piece of drywall or whatever, the ceiling tile up on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And that's because he fell through, and so he had to put up a new piece. So that was like the purple piece. That was funny. That's a good one.
No, there's been it's been a great thing to have all the guests on and talk to everybody and just connect with people. And like we said earlier, it's just a reason to be able to go, hey, can I talk to you for an hour?
Yeah,
You
right.
mind?
Yeah. And then there's people, like bigger YouTube content creators like Jimmy DeResta, who we had on, right before Maker, a month before Maker Camp last September. We had a conversation with him, and I actually sent out the Toolbox 100 challenge. I sent it to him, and he was like, "That sounds cool." So someone like that who, someone bigger in the community who will then, like, if he does that and then posts about it and spreads the word, it's just going to make that thing bigger.
Yeah.
And regardless of whether we get credit for that or not, it's just going to push the fact that people are putting together these toolboxes. Like, how cool would it be if that just became a thing?
Yeah.
And people were like building toolboxes and giving them away, finding cool things. Because I love to have a reason to look for tools. So if my reason to look for tools is to build another toolbox to give away to someone else, like I'm gonna keep doing it. I love the idea. I'm gonna do it, if not once a year, to like one of my seniors, which is kind of my mindset now, is like I'll give a toolbox away to one of my seniors each year, the one who I think is like gonna be, wants to really get into building rather than just straight architecture. Like it'd be fun. So hooray, bye.
Do we want to do recommendations?
Yeah, do we want to do another
Oh yeah, sorry,
trivia?
we got a few more. Gonna do a little trivia here. We got two more. We'll do, what is Lindsay Woolsey?
Oh, that's a good one.
Which I didn't know at all.
Lindsay Woolsey is something that it's a type of material. So what is Lindsay Woolsey? It's a good one. Lindsay Woolsey, Abigail TV. Yep, that's you kind of spelled it correctly. But yes, what is Lindsay Woolsey?
And if you can't get that one, should I do this other one?
I guess we could put them both up. See who guessed both of them.
So what is Lindsay Woolsey? And the second question is, the maker switch has two positions. And the big clue is they aren't on or off.
It is not linseed oil. All right, Garrett Owens says linen and wool weaved fabric. Correct. So that is Lindsay Woolsey. Lindsay Woolsey is fabric that's made from linen and wool. So it's warp that you have when you weave anything. You have the warp, which is the vertical lines of material, and then you have the weft, which is the horizontal, warp and weft. So Lindsay Woolsey is one of them is linen and one of them is wool. Linen is made from what's it called? Garrett, I'm having trouble. It's flax. So it's like a plant. So linen is made from flax and wool is made from sheep. So sheep's wool. All right, so Garrett Owens wins that one. Garrett, make sure you either send me a DM on Instagram or send us an email and let me know your address. So I will send you a sticker pack.
Both at the Art of Craftsmanship.
Either at the Art of Craftsmanship at gmail.com or the Art of Craftsmanship on my Instagram.
And
the other one is the maker switch.
Yeah, what's the maker switch? It
positions?
has two positions. They're not on or off. That's the clue.
Yeah. And this is something that actually you came up with. So we came up with the idea of the maker switch on the podcast, and that was from, thank you guys. Oh, awesome. Nice. Granite Kova, thanks for hanging out. Take it easy. Have a good night. That came up over the years of just like, I think that might have been you as well. Just thinking like when that switch happens, once you start making things, then the maker switch happens, right? You think about, okay, can I make this thing? A switch goes off. When you start making things, you automatically think, can I make it? And then you asked me at one point during the podcast, like, if the maker switch had two positions, what would they be? You know, it's on and off, but it's not on and off. What's the up and what's the down? See, when you switch it on, what is it? And when you switch it off, what is it? So that's the question. What are the two positions of the maker switch? Hati says, just learned linen from flax. What a versatile plant. I know, it's crazy. I actually saw when I was up in grad school at University of New Hampshire, my wife was working at Strawberry Bank Museum, which is kind of a historical museum. And they had a person processing flax. So I don't know exactly, I can't remember exactly what the plant looks like, but it's basically like long fibers, like long strings. And you would run it through almost the same thing as like a wool comb, where you like run it through a comb a bunch of times and it makes like long, thin, strands. And then those strands you spin together the same way with wool. So you're basically doing the same thing. I think we talked about Lindsay Woolsey specifically because I was reading that the book about what's his name, Daniel Boone.
Oh yeah.
Talked about they were all using Lindsay Woolsey shirts, like all the long hunters, the guys who would go and go do hunting trips on the opposite side of the Appalachian Mountains for 6 months or something and come back with a whole bunch of pelts. They all wore Lindsay Woolsey. And that's funny. It's not something that I guess, because my wife is a big knitter and she's all into wool and weaving and stuff. She always has been. I think I've heard it through her, but I've also heard it through, I've always been into, Native American stuff. So I've read a lot of books and stuff about Native Americans and the history of our country and the westward expansion. And also that term comes up often.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah. All right, well, we got 16 people watching right now, so there are 16 of you, not including Kodiak Edge, Hati, our mom, or Garrett Owens. But the other 11 of you, if someone knows what the two positions of the maker switch are. So there are two positions. We have a sticker. There are stickers around that say this, but there are two positions. There's the on position and the off position. But what two positions are the maker switch? And we have a couple of videos that talk about it. One specifically, which was Maker Camp. We did a whole video on where we interviewed people and we asked them a bunch of questions. And the last question we asked everyone was this question: was the
this or that?
This or that, which is the two positions of the maker switch. That was fun. I was thinking one of the trivia questions could be like, how many Maker Camp videos have we made? I guess it would be 3.
Yeah. Well.
Because you've been there 3 times, and each time you've gone, we've made one.
Yeah.
And I've been there 4 times. In the year that you didn't go, when your son was born, then I didn't make a video then.
There was no history of Justin being there. All right, recommendations. If anyone wants to answer that, we can still give that away.
Okay.
And then also, if you decide to do the Toolbox 100, still let us know. We'll still send you a sticker a sticker pack. Mine, like always, is just nothing specific. It's just what I've been watching on YouTube and on TV. I've been watching a lot of NHK, which is the PBS of Japan.
Yeah, right.
Always good.
Yeah,
but I've been watching their tour videos because they do it's very YouTubey. It's POV, walking into a hot spring hotel, like a Japanese, right. And they go in and they go explore. It's all those types of things, but with them talking as if it's like a real person. Oh, hey, what do you think about this? And they respond.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of like a corny English voiceover because it must be that there's a Japanese voiceover before that,
right?
And people just talk I love it here, blah blah blah. They watch another person. Hey, thanks for having me. This is great. This meal looks delicious. Oh, thank you. It's right. I watch it with the kids. They love it.
That's funny.
I'll narrate what the Japanese person is saying.
That's great.
Oh, it's very nice and hot, isn't it? Come bathe, and she's like, this is great. My daughter loves watching it. So just NHK
POV tour
videos. Any NHK stuff is great. And then the show I've been watching is Severance on Apple TV. I don't think I mentioned that yet.
No.
That's just kind of the sci-fi weird one where there's like innie and outies where people split their memories in half. Where like
Innie and outie?
yeah, so
Okay.
if you split your memory in half, like you have a sensitive job,
Mm-hmm.
and or for some reason you just don't want to remember going to work.
Right. Okay.
You split your brain into two halves.
Whoa, crazy.
One, so you go into an elevator as your outside person,
Yep.
and then all you see as the outside person is you closing the elevator and then the elevator opening back up and you're done.
Oh man.
All your
that's
innie sees
awesome.
is them getting off work, going in, and then it opens up and you're at work again.
Dagger.
So everyone outside's great. All your innies, it's a
man.
never ending, you're trapped in a windowless
Yeah.
cell. You don't know anything about your outside stuff. It's like a whole different personality. It's like a whole different person.
Show about belly button gangs. As Abby said. The innies and the outies. Oh, innies and outies.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. But I think Ben Stiller's the main like executive producer. He directs a bunch of them, so it's a little funny, and it's got the guy from Parks and Rec and some. I mean, John Turturro, is that his name? What's his name? John.
The like.
The guy from
Hispanic-
Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Him and I mean, it's got a killer cast.
Nice.
But it's a really cool show. They're in the second season right now.
Okay. John Turturro. Yeah. Nice. Right on. Cool. All right. I'll have to check that out. So my recommendation this week is Nick Birchtold. Birchtold. It's like Birchtold, and I don't know how to pronounce his name. And his Instagram, I think, is Birchtold Designs, something like that. He has a second Instagram, which is like his like design. It's like a knife making or something. But Nick does crazy 3-axis CNC like shaping. So there are a few things. So he does axe handles and he does like hammer handles, and he first started doing ones that look like upholstered fabric. So it'll look like cushions with like pin, like, so it's kind of lumpy and bumpy, but it looks like you're looking at an upholstered like fabric thing. He also has been doing like skulls up and down handles and all sorts of different stuff. So he does these crazy 3-axis CNC like cutting shaped handles. He had one at Maker Camp that he actually took over to Tracy from Bastion Head. He was having him hang an axe with it. So I saw it then in person. But he's also done a bunch of stuff with breasts on things.
Oh yeah,
like they're like breasts on the edge. Like he just posted one that was like a cutting board with all these breasts on the edge of it, which is awesome, of course. And I've seen other ones where like the breasts are like on a handle or something. He had one that was like a handle for his fence on a table saw. But he just posted. He posted a video today of an axe, and he's been doing some leather work. So he did like a mask with the Michael Myers mask across the bottom of, it kind of wraps around from one side to the other side of the head, and it's just a leather mask for an axe. But the axe, he shows one side of it, and it's a Jersey axe. So Jersey has pointed lugs, lugs are what they call on either side of the eye of an axe, where the hole is. So the two pieces that sandwich the eye, at the bottom of those, where it attaches to the axe handle, are called lugs. So they're pointed, so they come down the point. So it's a Jersey axe, has pointed lugs. So he had an axe. He's showing one side of it, and it looks like whatever, a standard like no name axe. It's not really any marks on it. And he's showing it because it has the mask on it. And he turns it over, and it has an etching, like a big round etching on the other side, so a big like marking, and it has a bunch of like designs and stuff, and it looks old because it looks like it's been painted and then like sanded off, so you can see like the etching like down inside the color of the paint or whatever, and it's the brown pigeon. And So like he showed it, and I'm like, what the heck is a brown pigeon? And I commented, I was like, what the F is a brown pigeon? Like I've never seen that before. I like searched Axe Junkies. I like just did a real quick search on Google just see if there's the brown pigeon axe. I was like, what is a brown pigeon? And then I realized like as I was looking that like that's a play on the Black Raven. And so then I looked back through his other channel, and I found where he like, so he came up with that logo, the brown pigeon, and it's like this is, and he even has like the words on like this is not a rip off, and he's got Birchhold designs and stuff. So it's like it's an etch that he has that's like a play on the Black Raven etch, but it's the brown pigeon. So it's really funny. So, but he did a good job of making it look original, like it looked like an original etch,
Nice.
with like paint in it and stuff. So that's was kind of funny. But yeah, I mentioned to him, I was like, what the heck, what the F is a brown pigeon? I was like, I've never heard of this before. I was like looking all over the place, like, what is this crazy, like this crazy stamp? I've never seen it before. I'd come to find out that it's his own like play on the Black Raven, which is fun. So check him out. That's Nick Birchhold, Birchhold Designs. And again, I'm not exactly sure if that's the correct Instagram handle because I don't have my phone because it's playing us live right now. But I will, I'll tag it and I'll put it in the show notes so that you guys have the actual Instagram handle. Nick Birchtold, Birch, Berchtold, something like that. Birchhold.
Sure.
Birchhold.
All right. Well, cheers. Happy 200th episode.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. 200. Who was the other? There's another podcast that just hit 200 as well. It's Dean Duplantis, High Caliber Craftsman, and a woodworker. I can't think of her, but it's 3 people. But they just hit 200 as well. I forget what their podcast is called, but it's wild. Like it's cool that there's people out there doing podcasts. And actually, Laura Kampf just actually put up a video recently on Instagram about like shouting out the Making It podcast of like it was the guys on the Making It podcast, Jimmy DeResta, Bob Claggett, and Dave Picciuto, who got her into actually making YouTube videos 10 years ago or whatever. So,
Wow.
So hopefully, like Kodiak Edge, he said he started making stuff because of our channel, and he has
We'll
a
see if
YouTube
we're still
channel.
doing a podcast in 10 years. I don't know, but we'll see. I don't know if I want to do 1,000,
Right.
but let's shoot for maybe 250, 225, 210.
Yeah, sure. We'll just keep on going.
Let's go to 210. See where we're at.
210. All right. Hati says, cheers, guys. You ought to do some more live pods in the future. Okay. I'm down with that. Yeah, I don't mind. We actually talked about that. We talked about doing like
Yeah,
once a month
in
or
like
something.
in cool locations
Yeah,
and
cool
like
locations.
breweries and fields and
Yeah.
barns and just with a little like a little
Yeah.
what do you call it, table and
Yeah, like a bar.
like a
table
bar
setup
where
type
we're
thing.
sitting at,
We're
yeah.
sitting behind it.
Yeah, no guesses for the on-off maker switch.
On-off switch.
Well, I'll tell you, it's make it or buy it.
Yeah.
Before we go,
The 2 positions for the maker switch are make it or buy it. So, and that was that was yours. You were like, what would you say the two positions would be if the switch had positions? Like make it or buy it. So you switch it up to the maker switch. It's turned on. You're making it, or you turn it off and you're buying it.
that's right.
And I like that. We've had the idea of actually making it into the light switch cover, the sticker on it. So people could actually switch out their light switch cover. And then when they go into their shop, their switch is like switched on for make it or switched off for buy it.
There we go. We'll send one to Drew.
Yeah.
My brother
Good
gets a
job,
sticker.
Drew. Well, he didn't actually guess it. He just said no one guessed it. No one
Yeah, I
guesses.
think he should know.
Well, you think you should know. No one judged. All right, guys. Well, that's all for now for the podcast. Thank you guys all so much for listening. Episode 200, it's been fun. 200 episodes has been wild. And we'll just keep on going. Hopefully get some more cool guests on. We have a lot of people that I have asked to be guests over the years who we just haven't like scheduled yet. So people who I've already reached out to who are like, yeah, it's great. It'd be fun. Like, let me know. So we've got some cool guests coming up, and keep your eye out for that. You guys can also make sure you follow me and Devin on Instagram at the Art of Craftsmanship and the Art of Kama Guy. You can also go to YouTube, check out the videos, see what we have there.
Join us for the Toolbox 100.
Toolbox 100
Videos
challenge,
coming out
absolutely.
very soon.
What was the last video we put up on YouTube? We have
The axes.
the axes, the mechanical axe. Yeah, right. And then we followed up that video with the testing, the axes, the different tests. So we have those 2 videos that we just put out. So make sure you check those out. And yeah, if you're watching this video, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for participating, and those people who sent in comments for our quotes. We appreciate it. It's been fun. It's fun to have like kind of a core group of people who are following along. And then if you want to support the channel and support the podcast even further, you can go to patreon.com/The Art of Craftsmanship. You can support us there. Everything we have bought for the channel since we started Patreon has pretty much been paid through Patreon. So like more microphones for the podcast and cameras, and when we need more gear, and the mics that we're using, the DJI mics, all that stuff is paid through for Patreon. So thank you for the people who do support us on Patreon. It makes a difference for what we can do for the channel. It makes it fun. All right, good to go. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for listening. It's been a pleasure, and we will talk to you next time. All right, there we go.
Let's hope that recorded.
We lost everything.
Let's do it again.
All right, guys. Well, for those of you who are hanging out still with us on video, it's been a blast. Now I'll spend a few minutes going through and editing in our little bit of intro music.
I guess it doesn't have to be done tonight.
Yeah, I'll probably do it tomorrow because I have time tomorrow. Yeah. Although it's only 10:15, that's not bad. Usually we record at like 9 o'clock and we're on till 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then I just do it afterwards.
And it's a Saturday, so
yeah,
nothing to do tomorrow.
Oh, it's Saturday. Yeah, I actually am off on Monday because it's President's Day.
Man, let's just keep it going. Keep rolling. Daytona 500 tomorrow.
Oh,
All you hillbillies. I'm excited.
Nice. And thanks for everybody who hung out with us. We had a bunch of people on. It's a let's see, we got Drew's still here, Hatia's here, Abby Girl TV. Thanks for hanging out. All right, guys. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Here's to another 200, and we'll see you all on the next video. Let's see, how do we end this? X.